I think it's preparing. Got it. All right, we're good, Dr. Tyson. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we are ready.
We can't hear you, Ms. Spence.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Dobbs Elementary Go Team meeting, where we'll follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Dobbs Elementary Go Team to order at 4:20 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll, and the secretary will now call roll.
Yes, at this time, I will call roll. Tiffany Reagan.
Present.
Brianna Spence.
Present.
Bernadine Connor.
Present.
Santana Hardy. Alexis Opodole. Erica Hopkins.
Present.
Cindy Adams. And Jeremy Crane.
Present.
And
we do have a quorum.
Okay, great. There is a quorum, so we will move to our action items. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. It was emailed to you and it was provided to you on the website. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we need to make an amendment to the agenda to remove the STAR report.
Remove the STAR report. Do we all agree that it's okay to remove the STAR report from the agenda? Anybody disagree?
Well, motion to move this STAR report and accept the agenda as printed.
Amended.
I second the motion.
All in favor, please say aye and raise your hand so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay and raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okie dokie, the minutes from the last meeting have been approved. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The meetings have been provided to you. We did the corrections. Let's move to our next action item. Our first action item is to vote on an additional meeting date. Any suggestions as to when we need to have that?
I think we got that straight. Ms. Yarbrough, I'll let the secretary explain it. I think we thought we didn't have enough dates, but based on what we have documented, Ms. Yarbrough, could you review the date so that the team can hear those?
Yes. The next meeting, the meetings are from we have a meeting on December the 6th, which will be our second. January 24th, which will be our third. February 28th, which will be our fourth. March 13th, our fifth. And May 15th, our sixth. And we're only supposed to have 6.
Okay, well, if that means we also would have needed to take that off of the agenda. as an action item.
Yes.
So we'll need to make an additional amendment to that agenda.
Yeah, and we need a motion.
Motion to amend the agenda to reflect the most updated agenda.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All who are in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand to
Aye.
amend the agenda to kick off. All who are opposed, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion has passed. Our second action item is to fill a vacant seat. Before we begin the process, I'd like to remind the Go team of the following. The principal brings forth the nominations for the vacant seat. All Go team members have only one vote per seat. An individual filling a vacant seat will serve until the conclusion of that seat's term. We will now fill the vacant seat. Ms. Reagan, do you have any nominations for our Go team's vacant seat?
I nominate Ms. Jen James for our vacant community member seat. And I will say that I nominate her because she's already an active community member at Dobbs. She assists with everything, you know, in the building when needed with the Morningside reading buddies, in addition to with our MAP celebrations with our business manager. And she's an intricate part and knows some of the ins and outs of Dobbs. So she would be a great asset to the Go team because she knows she's here often with us.
Okay, is there any discussion about Ms. Jen James joining our Go team?
I motion to approve.
Any second?
I second it.
Okay, all who are in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Ms. Spence, on this part right here, I'm going to go down and individually take everyone's vote for this one, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Reagan, I just need for you to answer yay, nay, or abstain, okay? Ms. Tiffany Reagan?
I think she said yay, but we couldn't hear.
Okay, okay. Brianna Spence?
Yay. Aye.
Bernadine Connor?
Yay.
I yay. That's my vote. Erica Hopkins?
Yay. Nay. Yay.
And Jeremy
I
Crane?
approve.
Thank you. Jeremy Crane?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody said yes. Great. So, welcome Ms. Jen James to our Go team.
Oh, thank you. I think I know most of you. Do I know you, Mr. Crane?
The Crane, can you come off the video so you can meet Ms. Jen James?
No, I don't think we've met, but it's nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
And welcome to the Go team,
Thank you.
the best Go team.
The best. My son is a sophomore at Midtown High School.
Awesome. So you're a parent as well. Awesome.
By the way, yeah, I'm still involved with APS.
Very nice. Okay, we will now move to the discussion items on our agenda. Discussion item number 1, our school strategic plan, and that is you, Ms. Reagan.
So just about no, I see that we have, do you want me to stop after each bullet item? How would you like? Well, I can proceed with all of them if you like. So the SMART goals and it's all together, but however you like.
All of that, all of you.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Can I get a thumbs up if you all can see? All right. So with our discussion items, we have the, I'll start with, wait a minute, let's see here. All right. So the first part is where we are, the strategic plan. We had a SIP, it's the monitoring plan, ranking our priorities and working on common goals. And we have a continuous improvement plan, which is also inclusive of our short-term action plan, which is basically our goals for the year. So here I will discuss the strategic plan, which is an extension of the SIP and our MAP data. So our current strategic plan, and again, this is similar to the SIP, what we have from our SIP, is to increase literacy proficiency, and is really our main goal this year, especially with the district's data, is to increase math numeric proficiency, increase the average daily attendance, and increase STEM. So our updated SMART goals, and you'll see where we went later on in the presentation, our previous GMAS information. But our SMART goals are as follows. The percentage of students in grades 3 through 5 scoring proficient and above in reading or ELA will increase from 12 to 17% and decrease the percentage of those scoring in beginning to 58 to 53. So proficiency is our standard, just for those who don't know. And we don't want to be in the red or beginning. So we want to decrease that number to go down, and that will be in all areas. So in math, we want to increase from 10 to 15% and decrease the percentage of students scoring from beginning from 61 to 56. And these are our SMART goals for the 2024 GMAS that we'll take in the spring. And our average daily attendance rate, we want it to increase to 94%. Here is a copy of our strategic plan, our 5-year plan. So I've made some amendments, and you'll see later in the presentation that our next week, we'll just rank them on next week. But I wanted to kind of present to you what we have so far. Our mission is to foster a 21st century learning environment that integrates community and school through a culture of mutual respect, high academic standards, and technology innovation. The vision is to provide rigorous, innovative, and engaging learning experiences through diverse partnerships designed to cultivate fiscally responsible citizens who are college and career ready. If we have any amendments that we'll make changes or rank to the next meeting, but I'm just want to present to you what we have. These are the same SMART goals here, which is ELA, math, and attendance. And our initiatives are from the district, which are the APS priorities and initiatives to foster academic excellence, build a culture of student support, equipping and empowering leaders and staff, and creating a system of school support. And you see the subtopics up under each. And so we typically always have 5. However, some of ours have changed since we have started the school year. And those who don't know that we were identified on the CSI list, which we're trying to make changes. So because the data dropped over a period of time. And so we want to make sure that we are continuing to increase to make sure that that data is going in the right direction. And so far it is, and you'll see that data later in the presentation as well. So with our main literacy goal, literacy and math, with fostering academic excellence, we have to increase proficiency in literacy and math. And these are the strategies that are taking place right now in the building: monitoring the delivery of Tier 1 instruction to include Rollins, monitoring the data analysis, assessments weekly and monthly, monitoring the delivery of small group instruction, and utilizing small group instruction to provide individualized instruction. And that's for both reading and math, literacy and math. For increasing the daily average attendance rate, we're utilizing the whole child intervention team to track students' absences. We're monitoring the reduction of chronically absent students as evidenced by the care team, and implementing attendance incentive programs throughout the school. To increase staff capacity in literacy instruction, We are monitoring the collaborative planning process to include analyzing standards and data, to increase the staff capacity and data analysis and usage for instructional decision-making. We're having staff engagement in weekly data meetings and implementing weekly and unit common assessments to address gaps in standards using that data from the assessment. And with STEM, we are implementing and utilizing the STEM learning profiles across content areas. So some of our current progress monitoring measures in literacy, as I've already heard a little bit, we are having weekly assessments, unit assessments, literacy and numeracy basically, common formative assessments, and all of the MAP assessments will be taken. So we've had one in fall, and you'll see that data. We are still in the process of taking the winter MAP, and so I don't have all of that, so we'll share that at a later meeting, and we'll have a MAP in the spring. With Whole Child, we try to exude positivity and SEL in the morning, doing announcements. We have a fall and spring behavior assessment, which is our BAS. We have a weekly attendance committee, which is our Whole Child committee. And we still have access to Hazel, which is our virtual health clinic, also counseling groups with the counselor and social worker assistant. So with our first administration with MAP, so as we discussed, so that you all will know where we came from, last spring we took MAP, and based on spring, and I'm sorry, let me go back. I don't know what happened. Moving too fast. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'm messing the thing up. Okay, I think this. All right, so here you can see where we have our spring, what we did in the spring and what we scored in the fall. And what we want to do is decrease the red and increase the green and the light green and the dark green. So here we have beginning, developing, proficient, and the dark green is exceeding. And so here are our main grades. We're really testing on GMAS on 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But for MAP, we have some data for 2nd. So in the fall, this is what we have for 2nd grade. As you can see in 3rd grade, we went down, and we actually decreased our red, which is pretty good, and increased the green, which is what we want. So here in the fall for reading, we actually went up. So we know we had some issues last year in 3rd grade, and so we're working on these areas, the areas in the red here. In the spring, for the current 5th graders that were 4th graders last year, or what have you, we went down, which is good. We decreased the red and increased the green. So we're constantly trying to make the red smaller and the green larger. The same for math. 2nd grade kind of went down a little bit. We're still working on proficiency. So we want to make sure we are proficient. Moving the proficiency, 3rd grade, we had a large decrease to 33%, which is good, and an increase. We went from no proficient in 3rd grade to a little bit more than that, well, 24 plus percentage points in 3rd grade. From spring, you see it here, and 5th grade, decreasing the red and the green. So hopefully we'll make some strides. A part of what I do want to say in, especially in literacy, MAP only tests the multiple choice areas. MAP does not assess writing. So that's one component that we have in the GMAS that we have to test on the outside, because MAP does not factor in writing. And so our scores, this is just one measure of data for us. So for our younger grades with the fluency, this is just a comparison to where we were. Dobbs is here, and we are doing pretty well in terms of where we are in comparison to our schools that have a similar demographic in our cluster. And so here is where Dobbs was in the spring with fluency, and the key is here, so you can see the dark is oral reading, foundational skills, beginning skills, and flag for reading assistance. And so right here, we have several of our kids that are able to orally read, have the foundational skills, and you know, flag for beginning. So I think in terms of where we are for fluency in the cluster, we are doing pretty well. But we're continuing to work.
Ms.
So,
Reagan, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So looking at that MAP data, it starts at second grade. Is that because the kindergarten only took fluency last year?
Yes, ma'am. Because
Okay.
they don't, yeah, they only take fluency. They take, so you asking about fluency only, not the reading, right?
Well, I'm asking about the reading MAP data, like from kindergarten to first grade to kind of show that growth. But I was wondering if it's just because in kindergarten they only take fluency.
Right, they don't have any data for MAP for kindergarten. They have
For MAP growth. They just have the fluency.
So for me, for this presentation, I only did those going up towards the tested grade. Are you talking about, am I answering your question? So if it's something you want, I can pull it out in the next slide. Is that what you're asking me? You want to see kindergarten where they have grown? Is that what you're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was just asking if that's why it was excluded. But yeah.
So for this, I had to go and pull data from different places. So pretty much I'll focus on the tested grades. If it's something we want to see, I would have to pull it and put it together. If that makes any sense. Because I get data from places and I would have to select those items, but I didn't select any kindergarten in first because we were focusing on comparing MAP to GMAS, and kindergarten first and second don't take GMAS. Okay, so last year in the spring, we had some successes with our GMAS. And we have, as you can see, we had increases in proficiency and above. 7 to 12 for third grade, for fourth grade, 10 to 14%, for fifth grade, 10 to 11. And math, we had some major increases from 11 to 24%. As I stated in the red, we wanted the red to go down. So that was successful from 72 to 67, 71 to 55, 53 to 52. And in math, we went from 67 to 41. So we are making some incremental gains. And so that's what we want to keep doing. So the areas that we are working on currently this year, we're really working on everything, but the areas that we're trying to make sure is third grade math, making sure that we improve with all of the levels with math, and fifth grade math, because they didn't improve in the beginning level, and the fifth grade math also stayed stagnant. They had 5%, I'm sorry, in there. So this is what our focal points are. And but we are still working on everything in there as well. So what do you all notice, wonder, or what of the questions? I know Ms. Spence already asked the question. Are there any noticing or wonderings and any questions? Okay, well, if not, I'll keep moving. So I wanted to give you all, I know in the strategic plan, I mentioned something about including Rollins. So Rollins is from the Atlanta Speech School. Rollins, we had Rollins last year. Rollins is just a slew of strategies for literacy. And we are implementing that again, along with 7 other schools in the district. And right now, teachers are delved in COPS campus modules so that they are familiar with how to better integrate reading strategies in the classroom. And so right now we are having a school-wide push for oral language, which is our first strategy. And they have some specific protocols to utilize accountable talk. So not only are we utilizing accountable talk in ELA classes, we are using accountable talk in all of the classes. That will be social studies, science, and math, because the goal is for students to talk more than the teachers are talking, because we have to get them in on taking ownership of their learning. And with doing that, they have to be able to discuss, explain, describe, and all of that, not just with the teacher doing it, because they will have to do their own thing on the milestone. After oral language, we'll go into a component called early literacy. To help with all of this, our instructional coach went to a training for Columbus for a week, and made sure that we got with some other schools. I believe it was Muskogee County and Columbus to make sure to kind of get ideas of what was happening with the Rollins there that was successful, so that we can bring some of that back here. Also, we are some of our leaders, EIP teachers and leaders are going to a Rollins school in Marietta before the end of this semester, so that we can shadow some of the successes and see what we can bring to Dobbs for that as well. With enrollment and leveling, just to give you all an update, as of August 1st, we had 251 students. As of today, we are at 315, but our projections this year was to have 318. And as you can see, at the beginning of the year, we had 251. We were under projection, so we lost $32,000. So instead of losing a teacher, I meant the capital, I'm sorry for the lowercase, that's a typo, it should have been a typo. I requested I did not want to lose teachers, because right now we have the class sizes are really, really small. And right now, in order to move the kids, we wanted to keep the class sizes at the level, at the small, how they are. We don't want them to increase. So I did not want to lose a teacher, but I did have a vacant para position, which was non-instructional, which typically works the main office or other duties as assigned. I just asked for them to delete that position. So we will so that money would come from that salary. And then we were able to keep all of our teachers. So we did not lose any teachers for leveling, so which is good. So we do have paras that we gained from our school improvement funds. And so they do assist in the office along with one of our long-term substitutes in the main office as well. Any questions so far?
I kind of did have a question that I forgot about. The BAS for the whole child section that you were on, is that district mandated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because it's not evidence-based, and so I was just asking.
Yes, that is the superintendent, Dr. Herring, prior to, that was something that was implemented, and currently I don't think it has been deleted as of yet, but it is just one measure. I'm not sure about the evidence-based part, but you could be right. But yes, that is a district mandate to determine at-risk behaviors, and the counselor pretty much keeps up with that, and she has small groups to make sure that she's addressing some of those between her and our social worker. All righty. So where we're going, at our next meeting, we will make any adjustments to the strategic plan and vote on ranking them. We may consider keeping it the same. I will say that literacy is a district priority. And when the superintendent was here also, she wanted Dobbs to have a literacy focus. So I do know that will probably remain number one, and then we can discuss that at our next meeting. And in terms of October, before we get to that part, on the principal's report, I'm here on the principal's report on the agenda. The right score assessment, students took the right score assessment, I want to say was in early October. For some reason, and I'm going to check with the district, we do not have the data for that. We usually would have that back in like 2 weeks or so, but for some reason it's lagging. So I'm going to check on that. So I do not have data for that. And the CCRPI has not been released by the DOE. They have preliminary, but they are still making changes. So as soon as I get that, I will include that in our following Go Team meeting. So you will have the right score information and the CCRPI information. So on to the announcements, if you don't mind, Madam Chair. I can go ahead to the November and October event. In October and November, we have had a lot of things, and I think I did leave off one. Now that Jen James is on, I'll add that too. That will be our Morningside Reading Buddies. They come monthly. But we had Fall Festival Trunk or Treat, our Literacy Pumpkin Contest, Character Parade, Jump for Books giveaway, Red Ribbon Week activities, Thanksgiving luncheon with the parents. We had a cluster parent meeting today. We had our superintendent community meeting here hosted at Dobbs for the community. And we have town hall meetings monthly to celebrate academics, attendance, behavior, and it's an SEL moment for the students to feel good. And we have Inclusive Schools Week coming up, and we have a behavior incentive field trip on tomorrow, actually, so that we can continue. We want to make sure that the whole child is celebrated, because without great attendance and good behavior, we cannot achieve academically. So all of them go hand in hand. So we do a lot to try to make sure that we are trying to achieve and do better. And that's all that I have. Are there any questions? On you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Reagan. So now is the time for public comment. And I know I asked about it last month, and we discussed it, but do we have the actual public comment protocol written up?
I discussed it at the last meeting. You want me to try to pull it up now?
And I tried to look for it myself, the
have-
protocol for public comment. I can't find it. I
It was
can't
one
find
of my presentations. I can, let me see if I can, if you give me a second. Read it now at this moment, Brianna.
Well, this is the time for public comment, and if we have anybody who wants to comment publicly.
Yeah.
And we have to post that on the website too as well, Ms. Reagan, the
Right.
public.
Okay. Yeah, it was on my last presentation, but I can make sure it's on all of them, or we have it available.
Yeah, because we got an email from the Go Team office about website compliance, and Ms. Yarbrough and I both made a list, and we don't have everybody's emails online. We don't have the strategic plan posted,
Okay,
and we don't have the public comment meeting dates as well as the protocol.
got it. So that's for after the meeting or offline meeting? Are we through with the meeting? Outside of the public comment, I'm trying to pull it up while you're talking, but the other items are not agenda items.
Right, the other items are not agenda.
Yeah, since we on the recording, let me just go to here.
And if there is no public comment, then, we can just wait on you to pull it up unless someone else wanted to, like Ms. James wanted to kind of hear what it is. Otherwise, we can adjourn. And we can just let you get that to Ms. Yarbrough or whoever updates the website.
Yes.
And we would really like the website updated like that.
I would like to confirm what the dates for our meetings are. Again, they went by pretty quickly if we're adjourned.
Well, our next meeting date is December 6th.
Oh,
And
it
Ms. Yarbrough-
is December 6th. I thought I misheard that.
It's December.
Yeah, next Monday.
Yeah, because this meeting was a rescheduled meeting. We were supposed to have this meeting earlier, but Ms. Reagan had a conflict with her schedule as she had another meeting. So we had to push this meeting back. But we do have a meeting on December 6th, which is next Wednesday. We have another meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then it's January 24th, February 28th, and then March 14th and May 15th. Is that right?
March 13th,
13th,
and then May 15th.
May 15th. Okay.
Yeah, and then
All
that's
right.
it.
And that's always at 4 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't
And
see it.
Ms.
I don't
Yarbrough-
have a presentation is in, but it's definitely in Ms. Yarbrough, it's in the notes that we get sent with the Go Team when they send you out, when we send the packet. So I have to pull it from the packet and then we can post it. But
Okay,
it's-
I think they sent me the packet as well, so I'll check.
Yeah. But I had it on the presentation. I'm just trying to make sure but I don't want to hold
Okay.
for that.
Well, we've reached the end of our agenda. Are there any additional business items at this time? All right, well, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
I second.
All in favor?
Go ahead.
All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 All opposed? Any abstentions? Well, okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
See it, Brianna. Thank you, Jen James.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Okay, so
Ms.
that's,
Ray,
Bye,
can
guys.
okay, so complete the people form. Do we have one?
I had this from the beginning, so we'll make sure we get it, we'll make sure, secretary updates it. We can work together to update it. It doesn't have, I don't think it has to be long. Mr. Crane, Ms. Hopkins, Dr. Conner, you can, unless you want to say, you can, we adjourn. We just kind of, hold on, let me stop recording.
All right, well, thank you all.
Thank you,
Good,
Mr. Crane.
and good meeting.